Is Eren Jaeger dying? So what's up guys, Foxen here. Is your favorite Attack on Titan character dying? Although this theory discussion is not limited to Eren. Today, let's go ahead and take a look at the Curse of Ymir. Throughout the past year, I've seen a lot of you guys ask me, can this curse be cured? Or even, is this curse actually real? Definitely let me know your own thoughts on this. Let's go ahead and get an in-depth look at the Curse of Ymir. To start off, what is the Curse of Ymir? Unfortunately, that Deadpool regeneration and that Titan perk comes at a cost. Dying after 13 years is included in that combo package. That means that Titan shifters like Eren, Armin, Reiner, Zeke, all of these guys will die 13 years after they first became a Titan shifter. If they're smart about it, they'll go ahead and transfer the powers before they actually get to year 13. But anyway, where does this Curse of Ymir come from? Why is this a thing? The first one to reveal some information about this curse was Eren Kruger. Whoever inherits the powers of the 9 Titans will die after 13 years. Supposedly, the original Ymir died 13 years after awakening her almighty Titan powers. Hence where the name comes from, the Curse of Ymir. No one should be able to get powers greater than hers, so as you approach the time limit, the Titan shifter's body weakens, since the vessel has finished serving its purpose. Alright, so here let me touch on one of the questions you might have had. Is the Curse of Ymir real? In the very same chapter where this was revealed, you saw this weakened Kruger explaining this to Grisha. That guy looked totally worn out, and even his nose was bleeding. Perhaps he really shouldn't have procrastinated. The thing about this is that Kruger is not the only example. Let's look at a past royal blood family member, Udi. In the Uprising arc, you saw him before and after he inherited the founding Titan. Similar to Mr. Kruger, Udi had rapidly aged in just 13 years. It even looked like this guy had problems walking on his own. It was that bad. Forget about avoiding drugs. Keep away from that Eldian stuff. But anyway, there has been a more recent example in present day for the Attack on Titan manga, and that is the War Chief Zeke. You saw a good look at this guy's bod at the end of season 2. At that time, he was 25 years old. Post time skip, Zeke has clearly been worn down. You might be able to argue against this, but the biggest giveaway is that white hair. Keep in mind that Zeke is supposed to be 29 years old here. So here you got 3 examples from the Attack on Titan story. Once or twice could be a coincidence, but 3 times? The Curse of Ymir is very much real. But how about the other question? Is there any hope in finding some sort of cure? Come on Hanji, you gotta science the crap out of this. This is where the theory discussion starts for this topic. Let me first mention that there may be more to this curse, but I'm not too hopeful. If you're one of the ones hoping that Eren survives this, you may be disappointed. For this, let me bring up Grisha. Eren's father was also a Titan shifter. Back when Wall Maria came down, Grisha forced the young Eren to inherit both the Attack Titan and the Founding Titan. Any possible wiggle room for this curse may come from Grisha. There's actually a couple possibilities. Notice that Grisha should have been on his last year. However, unlike the last 3 examples, Grisha didn't seem weakened at all. Keep in mind that just before Grisha died, he was 39 years old. Just compare him to Zeke, who only had 1 year left. Is there a reason that Grisha looked like he was doing much better? Perhaps you could say that Grisha had more than 1 year left, but that only then brings up more questions and possible implications about Grisha. Let me go ahead and give you some possible explanations for this, although as I said, they may be unlikely. Definitely let me know your own thoughts on these. To start off, Grisha had just eaten Frida, also known as the Founding Titan. Could it be possible that by eating another Titan shifter, the possible time limit for the Curse of Ymir had doubled? In other words, instead of living 13 years total, Grisha was now able to live 26 years total. I don't really buy this one, but the chance is always there. One thing that does go against this is the thought that taking in more poison should kill you faster, right? I somewhat agree with this thought, but then again, it's not like this Titan stuff is natural. As far as you know, Titans more or less exist in the magical, mystical areas. So about Grisha having 26 years total, I personally doubt it. However, I think these next 2 possibilities are much more likely. Instead of Grisha doubling his lifetime, how about if he either gained whatever life Frida had left? So if Frida had 4 years, those 4 years would have been added to Grisha's life. Or, how about if your time limit resets when you eat another Titan shifter? After Grisha ate Frida, he could have unknowingly lived for another 13 years. Imagine that. But anyway, those were 3 ideas on this. Do you buy any of them? Let me go ahead and throw in my own personal theory, which is slightly more complex. This goes back to the reset idea. When you eat another Titan shifter, what if it resets your death limit, but only to some extent? Let me explain what I mean. Take Eren for example. This guy has the Attack Titan and the Founding one. Eren had these forced onto him when he was 10 years old. This means Eren will die when he's 23 years old. Kruger mentioned that the original Ymir died 13 years after awakening her powers. What if Eren dies on year 23 from the Attack Titan part of this curse? Except that he doesn't. It's possible that on year 23, the Attack Titan is transferred to another Eldian, but Eren survives. But why? You still know very little about how this whole Titan inheritance works. It's possible that it gets even more complicated when someone takes in more than one Titan shifter. This goes back to the second Titan shifter that Eren has, the Founding one. Technically, Eren did not activate or awaken the coordinate powers until the end of Season 2. At this point, Eren was 15. What if, at this point, the 13-year counter started then for the Founding Titan? Eren could lose his Attack Titan when he's 23, but perhaps Eren could live an additional 5 years thanks to the Founding Titan powers. Unfortunately, this means that Eren still would die, although that'll be when he's 28. But hey, that's an Attack on Titan theory. More important, let me hear from you. Question of the day. Do you think this Curse of Ymir is real? Can Eren survive this curse? Do you think it's possible for Hanji or someone else to find a cure for it? And out of all the possibilities I mentioned, which one do you think is more likely? If you enjoyed these theory and theory discussion videos, definitely give us a colossal thumbs up and subscribe. You can enjoy 5 or more anime videos every week. This includes some juicy Attack on Titan ones. By the way, since we just talked about Eren Jaeger, how about the other Jaeger, Zeke? Definitely check out my recent video on why Zeke will betray his buddies. And I'll see you guys later.